This month, we're talking about mental health awareness.
A group chat rule that we have, we'll all, if someone puts in a group chat, like somebody call me right now, that means, hey, somebody better call me. Doing the work with Active Dad, I've realized that men do not open up until they realize that the other guy's situation may be a little similar.
I will say this too, when it comes to us men, especially black men, I feel we have, in a sense, too much space in a closed room.
My follow-up question for that would be, so what does self-care look like for you?
Self-care for me?
Truth in the air, let it speak.
But yeah. So like I said, man, May, the mental health awareness month. And I'm like, what you do, men need to know.
Yeah.
They have somewhere to go. You know, women always got friends they can go hang out with, chill with. But us as men, we be like, who you tell what you going through some stuff?
Yeah.
You know, especially when you have homeboys that don't have kids, or, you know, like my kids are old.
Yeah.
You know, well, my
How
baby
old?
boy is 11,
Okay.
but my daughter's 19.
Okay.
My oldest son just turned 14. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, where do we go? Hang, chill.
Yeah.
You know, as they call it, and I can't stand that word, vibe out. You know, where do men go? And, you know, when you came in and you was on Perry's podcast,
Yeah.
shout out to Perry, Follow Suit Podcast.
Hey, shout out to
Shout
Perry.
out to you, P.O. I was like, yeah. I said, I need to get Mod on.
Yeah, nah, I appreciate that, man. Hey,
Yeah, man, I appreciate
always
you
thankful,
accepting the
always
invite.
thankful for any opportunity, man.
Oh yeah,
No,
oh yeah.
I appreciate that, bro.
So I don't know if you watched any of the episodes.
I saw a few.
I
Try to
haven't.
go back and do.
Yeah, you know I have no beginning. We just be talking. You know, we in it. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna bring on my homegirl Natasha again. You know, she's
Okay.
a therapist.
Okay,
So I'm
that'd be good
trying
perspective.
I'm trying to really hone in on that mental health awareness. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you speak to what y'all do and all that other stuff.
Okay.
You know. So listen, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Creative Roots Podcast, where seeds sown become visions grown. I am your host, Tay.
And I am Dina, Tay sidekick for the day.
Thank you, Dina. I was just
You
trying to figure out what you was
Yeah,
back there doing.
I can tell by your face. I don't appreciate it.
Dina holding it down. Shout out to Dina holding it down.
Shout out to
Dina.
me.
Yeah, shout out to you. Oh, that reminds me. Shout out to Alalux Studios.
I would like to thank us.
Shout out to Charlotte Podcast Studio. I would like to thank us. And shout out to Art Box Charlotte. I would like to thank
us.
And
we. Thank you, Mono.
And shout out to Mono too. By the way, we got a second collaboration going on with them right now. I'm just waiting on a response to an email. But yeah, shout out to them too for providing these mics. Yeah, man. We loving these mics.
Yeah, these are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, flashing lights.
Wow, like I don't even want to touch it.
Yeah, you see I'm just like, move it like this.
Oh, this right here, this arm goes up and down if you
Okay.
feel like it's too close.
Okay.
I mean, too high.
I'm loud anyway, so
yeah, I try
you
to
don't
be.
have to be too close.
Yeah. So listen, y'all. This month we're talking about mental health awareness. Y'all heard me say it multiple times before. That's been a reoccurring theme with a lot of the creatives that was on here pretty much since the beginning. So I invited Mod and he accepted the invitation. I'm so glad he did. This is why, and I'm gonna let him talk to it in a second. But this man is the founder of Active Dads, and this organization is exactly what it sounds like, right? It's a group of men that are able to get together and enjoy being able to, in a sense, vent. Because we know it's a lot of moms that be like, I need my me time. Dads don't get no me time because we always doing stuff. We constantly doing stuff. So I'm gonna pass this over to Mod because he looked like he got something to say right now.
I was like,
I'm gonna pass this over to Mod right now and let him talk. I'm gonna shut up. So Mod, do me a favor, introduce yourself to the audience
Yeah.
and tell them about Active Dads.
And we could do it in conversation form. But once
Yeah.
again, thank you guys for having me on. My name is Maud Torrance, and I'm the founder of the Active Dad, which is a nonprofit where our main focus is fostering community, not only for fathers, but fostering community for kids as well. We do that by play dates. We have virtual dad tribe calls every third Wednesday. Shout out to everybody who's on our last call we had this week. And we just try to think of different innovative ways to bring dads together, but to also bring kids together so that everybody can have community and everybody can learn and grow together, essentially. I would say the focus points are just community, men's mental health, literacy, and just doing, honestly, all of the things that we feel and we deem that need to be, showcased and highlighted in fatherhood.
Y'all, my allergies is cutting the food.
Hey, man. And you don't know what season you're dressing for these days.
At all, because I put on my Creative Roots shirt,
Yeah.
but I walked outside. I said, yeah, let me grab that hoodie too. Man. So the biggest thing is community, not just
Yeah.
for dads, but also for the kids.
Yeah.
See, I don't think I remember that part.
Okay.
That's why I was like strictly with the dads. But I
Yeah.
knew it was something with the kids too.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what. So, of course, here on Creative Roots, we talk about the journey from the beginning. However, I want to again add this whole aspect of letting men know about your organization
Yeah.
and where they can go, right? So let's start here.
Okay.
What seed was planted or seeds that were planted that got you into the active dad space?
I would say the seeds that were planted that got me into doing the work in active dad was honestly just fatherhood. Kind of like what you led with earlier. When I became a dad, I realized mom had so many different resources and so many different support groups,
Mhm.
to join. And at this moment, I saw a couple of dad initiatives, had not seen a lot. I can say that. So after that, I just brainstormed and thought about, well, what do I want to see? I've always been a person that if I can't find what I want, I'm just going to create it.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just, and that honestly, that dates back to like just childhood in general. The word creative now I feel has become a buzzword of our generation.
True.
So it's like everyone's creative, and I'm not knocking anyone that is, but when I look at my journey, it's just funny, just some of the characteristics I saw now as an adult. I saw myself as a kid, I always had a big imagination, and I've always been a visionary. So I know how I want things. Like if I envision things to be a certain way, I'm not going to stop until it gets done. In that way and in that aspect. So the same when it comes to community building as well. Funny story, and when I was in like grade school, when I was smaller, I would always get in trouble for not being bad and disruptive, but the teachers would say everybody's around his desk. It's like everybody's around his desk. Like he's a leader in the classroom and we need him to do this, or he needs to tell the kids like to calm down and stuff like that. And like my mom dealt with that like all through my upbringing. So as an adult, I can see that's kind of like entry level community building, like just getting people together and,
Yeah.
and doing things like that. So just adding it to the fatherhood aspect. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I felt. I was a first time dad. I have a unique situation where me and my dad's relationship now is good, but growing up it was inconsistent. So I experienced single parent childhood, but then also my mom's was married. So I had a stepfather in the home as well, who I still consider a dad. And so I got the best of both worlds when it came to those things. But when I became a dad, I just knew what I needed and I had a lot of questions. And my stepdad didn't have kids. So he couldn't answer those questions. My dad, he was just inconsistent in and out. So I didn't feel like he could give me the best advice when it came to parenting because of his experience
Right,
and
right.
what that looked like. So just went into it like, hey, let's get a couple of my friends together. Let's do some dad activities. Let's have conversations. Luckily, at the moment, both of my best friends at the time had kids, So I had people to lean on with experience, but
Mhm.
just thinking about, it's probably a lot of guys like me that probably don't have those resources, and that really kind of birthed everything.
So it really does go way back.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, a lot of things for a lot of us start at childhood, and
Mhm.
it could be, you know, like you said, the positive things, and you in a sense had two dads, you
Yeah.
know, um, even with the inconsistency, you had two,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of the same thing with me, but my second active dad was, you know, my uncle. He's only 9 years older than me,
Okay.
you know, so he's showing me things, teaching me things, and it's like we still in the same decade, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then to be a leader and be seen as a leader that young, it happens. And I will say, I'm glad that you took hold to that.
Yeah.
Cause some people they be like, nah, I don't want to do all that. Nah, don't be, hey man, go away.
I kind of feel forced. Is one of those, like, I'm one of those people, bro. I will get stuff done, but I'm going to complain and be like, I don't feel like doing this right now, man. And you try to like just sit back and to allow others to come in and take over, but it's just that natural instinct of wanting to be assertive in situations.
Yeah,
So yeah, I feel like I was running from it for a while. Like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm like, all right, let's give it a try. Let's see what
yeah.
happens.
I mean, I think that's normal though.
Yeah.
You know, because it's again, you have a vision, you want it to be done a certain way, but who gonna do it the way you envisioned it, right?
Yeah.
And then to just be like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I really feel that's normal because you also, for me, I have this sense of, but what if it doesn't work out?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'd be like, ain't nobody trying to go ahead and do that. But you know, I mean, it's the same thing with the podcast. Like I said before, I didn't want to be in front of a camera like that.
Yeah.
Yet here we are. We're on episode 50 something. By the time this comes out, we'll be 50 something.
That's impressive, man.
Very.
I'm impressed that you remember the number this time.
Yeah. Because at the time of recording, we're at about 48, 49.
Okay.
Don't try to date and go back and see exactly when we recorded this, y'all. But yeah. So being forced, was it he been dragging that wagon all day? And every time I hear it, I just be like, where is he going? My bad.
No, you good.
But being forced to be this leader,
Mhm.
what did you deal with in that space during that time?
From conception of active dad, what I dealt with?
No,
Or
just feeling like you being forced to be the leader all the time. The reason I'm asking,
okay.
go ahead.
Okay. I got that now. I would say just some of the emotions, like what you said earlier, is like a why me
Mhm.
type thing. And it's like I said, it's, to me, it's like a blessing and a curse, because I don't like going in situations where I have to wait on someone else to step up and get things done. But then also, I naturally just step up and get things done. I think one of the downfalls to that is, to an extent, I can be a control freak, but not like a huge crazy control freak. Like everything has to be a certain way. But to
Right.
an extent, I just know how I want things done. But I would just say, just taking the opportunity to just sit back and just think and visualize, like, what do you want anything to look like? And I think that can apply to just life in general, when it comes to imagining like how you want things. I can
Yeah.
say, I remember as a kid, like growing up, I knew I was going to end up moving from Savannah, because like I always felt uncomfortable in certain
Mm.
situations. And moving to Charlotte was, it was one of the greatest opportunities for me, because like I was telling Dina off mic, I'm not from here. I'm a down south country boy. I was in Savannah my whole life, and I moved here. I didn't know a soul. I was like, I'm just gonna move somewhere, and we just gonna start all over. And I feel like this is gonna be fun and
We just
some,
gonna go.
yeah, like in some kind of some kind of twisted way. It's gonna be fun
Yeah.
to this. I was already working in banking, so I did a lateral move to get here.
Mm.
But once moving up here, they didn't match what the cost of living was here. So I was still getting paid on a salary from Savannah, but I'm living in a bigger city. now. Yeah, so they wouldn't match that. So I'm a hustler. So I got up here. I worked my job. I got a part-time job. I grinded. I knew I wanted to be on the corporate side of finance. That was the end goal. That's the vision. That's what we're going for. And ultimately, that's where I landed in a couple of years after being here and working. So when it just comes to just being a visionary, when it comes to just being a leader, when it comes to community that's taking charge, I think these are qualities that even with young adults, I feel like you learn at a younger age. But if you, I want to say water them, but just develop them more. Develop them as you grow. As you grow older, you'll see the results in the end. And those small steps from being in small groups and playing little league sports. And like
Yeah.
I wasn't the best in little league sports. I'll say that right now. I was there for the vibes. I was there for the vibes, man. Do what I had to do. But the funny thing about it, I look at little league sports. I looked at it as like a networking opportunity as a kid. I didn't know it was networking, but I knew I remembered different kids from different teams. And when I would see them out, I'm like, oh, well, that's that person.
Yeah.
And those are all of these are the entry level steps to building and creating things. Identifying people, being able to communicate, being able to have something familiar as well. I think that's what works with Active Dad, because we're all dads. We're all men. Secondly, we all have kids. Those are two things that we have in common right there. And from doing the work with Active Dad, I've realized that men do not open up until they realize that the other guy's situation may be a little similar to them. Because as guys, we may feel we're gonna get judged, or you don't want to speak too soon, or you don't want to say too much and be oversharing. But that's been a beautiful thing about this community. Is just once men can pinpoint that they're on the same page with another man, or that they just have a lot in common, you would be surprised at what doors open for brotherhood, for fellowship, and for conversation.
Because most men have a wall.
Yeah.
We keep up a wall.
Yeah.
Some of that is from, childhood.
I think most of it is from childhood, because how
Yeah.
we weren't raised to like communicate.
Mm-mm.
Really.
No, we
We
were
weren't-
told, keep your chin up.
Don't
Men
cry.
don't cry. Men don't cry at all. Let one tear come out. Even while I'm whooping you, a tear better not fall.
And then you grow up and everybody's mad because you don't open up.
Yeah.
And you don't express yourself.
And you
don't
weren't
do this.
told how to
And
express.
it's so many years that we've been dealing with being programmed in this way. Then when adulthood comes, and no nod to you, Dina, and all the ladies, but especially like if you're in like a relationship or something, one of the first things they're saying is you're not a good communicator, and you don't know how to do this, and you don't know how to do that. Well, what I've realized is, just like me and you are agreeing on, we have so many years of being told the opposite. So now it is time for a shift to happen, but unfortunately men are going to have to be the ones to lead the charge when it comes to that. You see a lot of conversation around society doesn't put an emphasis on like Men's Mental Health Month. Like when Men's Mental Health Month comes around, I think it was last year when I saw it, but you would see a lot of conversation about why am I not hearing about this, how I hear about Women's Month or women's mental health, or things of that. And some of the conversations that I've had around it is, back in the days, men led the community by taking charge. Whatever we want to see more of, we can't wait for anybody else to do.
True.
We need to be the ones that are doing that. And I know we all may not be equipped or have the resources, but just finding, whatever resources we got. Chat GBT, you got online, things of that nature. But whatever help we can get, I feel like that's what's needed right now for our community even more.
Yeah. And finding those things, honing in on those things, and understanding, again, you can open up without being judged.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there are men that won't say anything until they hear somebody else saying it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you said, it's that relatability.
Yeah.
Because if I'm dealing with something, I mean, we got to have a somewhat of a relationship before I open up and say anything anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So, question, when you have you all's meetups, when y'all get together, right? Do you have new guys that come in and they just instantly open up when they hear what other men have dealt with going through or whatever? Or do they still kind of sit back until like, maybe next time?
I guess it depends on the guy's situation and the guy's personality, not situation. Depends. I'm sorry, I can't talk, but it depends more so on the guy's personality.
Mm,
On our dad tribe calls, so we have a new format now. We're doing 2 virtual. Last year they were all virtual, and
mm,
these calls have dads from all different cities on them. Going forward, we're doing 2 virtual, 1 in person. Just because I'm aware of the importance of just interaction and being able to get together and
yeah.
camaraderie and just having that sort of experience. On our dad tribe calls, typically we get on, we introduce ourselves. Whoever's running the call, they'll introduce themselves. We always ask. We treat it like church. We tell the guys, hey, if you're new to the call, just say like your name, age, what city, how many kids you have, anything else that you may want to add, you can. So this past week we had about 5 new guys.
Mm,
Yeah, we had about 5, 6 new guys on this week's Dad Tribe call, and I just think it's such a cool and dope meeting because the breakout rooms, it allows for you to see other guys go and have conversation, and then if you feel comfortable and compelled to share, or we always ask everyone to share, but if you feel compelled, you get the opportunity to see other guys go first. This week's topic was a Q1 reflection. What are some goals that you set for yourself for fatherhood?
hmm
And we had 2 breakout rooms. We had 10 guys in each room. 10, or it could have been a little more. But the dope thing about this week's call was all these guys don't know each other. And I'm the individual that creates the rooms. So I know people's personalities, and I'll intentionally mix it up to just kind of balance it out. Each room was basically having the same conversation about how this year they want to be more intentional with their time they spend with their kids, balancing out work-life balance between them and their kids, and making time for themselves when it comes to self-care. It's crazy that was like the theme of both rooms, and they weren't even in the same conversation until we came in the end. And we had some new guys that were actually, in the end of the call, we allowed guys to just express like what they spoke about. We had some new guys that actually were the ones who led with the discussion on what the group was talking about. So
So they feel comfortable.
yeah,
They
we
feel real
try to make
comfortable.
them comfortable.
Yeah.
We live in it. We're discomfort. We experience discomfort so much. Come over
And
to
for so
Active Dad.
long.
We make you feel comfortable over here.
Yeah. Come on over.
Yeah,
You heard. He
come
didn't
on
send
over
the
to Active
invitation.
Dad. We'll make you feel comfortable over here. Let you know you got some brothers doing the same thing with you.
Yeah. So one thing you said, keyword, intentional,
Mhm.
right? That has been my word for the year.
Yeah.
Being more intentional, and I'm on that same path, intentionally spending more time with my kids.
Yeah.
Like my daughter, she'll call me. We'll be on the phone for 2 hours and she ain't really said nothing,
Yeah.
but I know giving her that time is way more valuable than a lot of any conversations we could ever have,
Yeah.
And, my oldest sons, I try to make sure I'm home to play video games with them because it's me spending time with them,
Yeah.
not them spending time
Time
with
with you.
me. And I know that is something that we as adults have to understand,
Yeah.
because we dealt with it as kids, and I feel that's like a subconscious thing that we do.
Yeah.
For instance, Saturday mornings, my mom, she would go somewhere and then she would go have breakfast, right?
Got you.
And it's if you didn't get in the car, she didn't bring nothing back. So it's like I gotta go with her while she do all this shopping just so I can get some
running all those
pancakes and
errands.
eggs.
It's not even worth it in the end.
Right. But
What
I'm
is
eating
time
out
spent? Yeah.
and it's time spent, my uncle, he used to get up on Saturday early it's like I would go with my mom and she'd be home by like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock most
Yeah.
days. And around that same time, my uncle is outside prepping his car to go to the car wash.
Okay.
So I would hop in the car with my uncle just so I can say I rode around in this nice car with these nice
going to the
rims
car
with the
wash,
system
doing
in it,
all that.
and I feel that now that's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
When we don't have anything going on here, I'm like, hey, we're going somewhere tomorrow.
Yeah.
And my kids be like, where? I'm like, does it matter? You're going to spend time with your daddy. You're going with me. And they're like, oh, that's it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll tell them where I'm going, and they're just like, oh. hey, y'all, they talking to the people they playing the game with. Hey, I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. I'm going with my dad.
Yeah.
And then their friends be like, oh, y'all going there? Hey, ask your dad, can I go too? And I'm like, I don't know about all that. The next thing I know, I still got a car full of kids.
Got a car full of kids now.
Yeah, and my son plays for the football team, so now we got 2 cars going.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
that's dope though, man.
I'm like, hey, I guess that's just, like you said, knowing what it's like to not, well, for me, not having a father, right? And then my only father figure really is 9 years older than me.
Got you.
I know, get these kids out the house, you know. I forgot where I was going with all that. But yeah, being intentional.
Yeah.
I was going somewhere else.
But no, but it's funny. I'm the same way with my kids. I'm really big on kids shouldn't have too much idle time. They need to get out the house. They need to do those things.
Oh yeah.
They can make decisions, not too much decisions.
Right.
They still got a parent here, you know, to guide and do those things. But
you can make enough for your age.
You feel me? Because sometimes I do feel with how parenting has changed so much now with this generation. I feel like a lot of kids don't have much to look up to when they get older. Like there are certain things that you can only do when you're an adult. There's certain things you can only get when you're older. And I think some parents, and I can see a world where you just want to give your kid everything that you didn't have, but in the same lens, it's like when they get older, what are they gonna have to look forward to?
Right.
So I purposely tell my kids certain stuff, and they ask why, and I say because I'm grown. You're not grown. So you can't do that. You wait till you get grown and you can do those things.
I break things down to their age and the way they operate. You know, like my kids, they'll go outside. My oldest son, he plays football.
Okay.
So on any given day, almost half the football team is at my house.
Chilling.
Running through my grass. And I'm like, I'm never going to have grass on that side of the house. And they did something. I was like, I don't want no kids at my house for a month. And my son, my oldest son, he goes outside. He's like, hey, Dad, we got grass. I said, I know. That's what happens when y'all not playing football or kickball in between the houses.
Yeah.
And man, them kids would come over and I talk to them and, you know, they be like, man, your dad cool, man. They got this story that they done told one kid that I own part of Nike. Because we always wear Nike. Like Nike get at me. We only really wear Nike, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, man, y'all always got Nikes and y'all always got Jordans and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, they don't understand that some of them shoes I didn't pay full price for.
Yeah.
You know, some of these shoes are donated to me from the things that we do.
Yeah.
You know, and we just always wear Nike. You know, but man, them kids come to the house
and they enjoy it.
And
you're creating something comfortable for them.
Yeah.
So a comfortable place for them as well. So
yeah.
Shout out to you.
My house appreciate it. Because my house is that neighborhood house.
Yeah.
And again, some of these kids get their parents to drop them off that stay 15, 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
You know, some of their parents will come like, hey, I heard you were watching the kids. Are they spending the night tonight?
Yeah.
No. I'm like, hey, make sure y'all come back and get y'all kids because they're not staying the night.
Yeah, I don't do sleepovers. I don't do sleepovers.
But I do.
Gotcha.
They do. Because again, my house is that house.
Yeah.
And I tell people, they're like, man, there's a lot of kids. I said, I would rather all them kids to be here.
Yeah.
When I can see and watch. And you say who?
I said they could be anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's good that they didn't have a safe place.
Yeah. And then one of the football coaches stays right down the street. So he'll come up the street. So it's
a family affair.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another coach stays that way, one coach that way. So, you know, every now and then we all at my house.
Yeah.
You know, so I have no problem with the kids being there. But yeah, you have to get them something to look for. You know, my kids, I told somebody one time, and I told this to a lot of other dads that I talk to. And it's like, are we spoiling these kids or are we giving them a piece of what we never got?
I think it's a mix of both. Yeah,
you think it's a mix?
I think it's a mix of both. But sometimes you can look back and be like, okay, hold on, they may be a little too spoiled now. Like my daughter thinks whenever we're in the car, she should be able to just stop and I should go buy something. And I had to tell her I got her from dance last week, and she's like, we should get Chick-fil-A. I said, but we have food at home. I know, but we should get Chick-fil-A. I said, I'm starting to pick up on every time we're in the car. It's like, hey, we should stop here. And nah. So
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good balance that we're having, with our kids. At least for me, I can speak and say, all right, cool. I laughed like a month or so ago on TikTok. There was some it was basically like the new version of Hamburger Helper that you would just cook yourself. So it's not like Hamburger Helper in the store. It was basically someone took all the ingredients but like doctored it up, put like diced peppers and stuff in different kind of cheeses.
Okay,
And it was really good. Like if you just want to throw a quick meal together in the house,
Yeah.
get your ground beef, get your peppers, get your cheese, all of that stuff, tomato paste, and me and the wife enjoyed it. It was good. I gave it to my kids, and they were like, "No." Like, they were just like, "We don't like this."
What is this?
And I'm like, mind you, I grew up on like real Hamburger Helper.
Yeah.
So this is just
Yeah.
really just some fancy gourmet ground beef and noodles and everything that you can make. And me and the wife thought it was so good, and I was like, I think we're doing too good with these kids.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't know about no hard time.
No. I will say this too. Two things if I remember both of them.
Yeah.
I'll say the first one first, but I realized when I got older, the only reason we was having breakfast for dinner is because that's all that was in the house. We ain't had nothing but pancake mix and ain't nobody ate them eggs. So we about to hey kids, you want pancakes and eggs for dinner? Yeah. We had that
And we
in
were
school.
so happy and excited, but
but it was like, hey, cause it ain't no ground beef.
We had to stretch some meals.
Right.
Had to stretch some meals, man.
And then my kids, my oldest son, they have a cooking class at the middle school. So he comes home.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, Dad, this is what I was, this is what we learned today. Hey, can we make that too? And him and my baby boy, they will send us recipes all day.
That's good.
And we will get in that kitchen. My oldest son, he loves making sesame chicken.
Okay.
We have a recipe for like some kind of special burrito.
Yeah.
And, like you said, you docked up the meat, you create some sauce.
Yeah.
You can put the meat in this sauce and then you put it in this burrito wrap and then you put some other stuff up in it. And then you roll it up, you put it back on the pan, you just grill it.
Okay.
And
we good. You in there now.
Man, we did that with 5 pounds worth of beef. You know how much was left over?
That's a lot of food.
I got some babies that eat. When I say my boys eat. Like we cooked that, let's say we cooked that at noon. They going back for seconds.
That's how my kids are.
Yeah.
My kids are pretty greedy.
Yeah.
They're pretty greedy, but hey.
But they're active.
Yeah.
So I give them credit for that.
We gotta do what we have to do with them, man. We most definitely gotta do what we gotta do with them.
Yes. So all of that, man, it's just a bunch of things from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Pairing up, partnering up with other people, finding the similarities, and going from there, right? And then growing and building. You start Active Dads. You got a pretty good following. And I know it's just growing over time because, you just had 5 new people on the last call.
Yeah.
So with everything that you're doing, how has that support system been and how have you seen other people affected by what you do?
Okay. For the first half of that, I'll go on record and always say I feel like I have the best support system ever. And I can say that from learning. You have to teach people how to friend you. And I think in this generation and this time and age now, a lot of people don't like they feel like everybody should just always have it together. And I feel like in certain aspects, people should have it together. But if people are there for you, just let them know how to show up for you and how to be a good friend for you. So when it comes to support, I'll always say I think I'm blessed to have one of the best when it comes to family, when it comes to my immediate friends, and even the community that's been birthed through Active Dad. We all support each other. I think everyone does a great job of supporting me because I'm a man who wears many hats. I just had to learn how to take help from people because sometimes you don't want to take help because it may not get done the correct way. And I think maturity is just learning that if you want to bring people on to help you, just show them how you want it to be done. In the end, but with that, man, just the support aspect, just from us guys in general and the dads, we all support each other outside of Active Dad. So we have guys that are trainers, DJs, real estate agents, things of that nature. And my biggest visually, that's how I wanted it. I just wanted it to be a community to where it's like a one resource shop, one stop shop. you can literally find everything, that you have within the community. And that goes from just a lot of transparency.
Mhm.
To answer the second part of the question, I feel that when you can see other people just be their true selves and see how they're received, I think that has motivated others to just kind of open up more. So in our dad chat, we actually did this yesterday. I just randomly threw in there and say, "Hey guys, scale to 1 to 5, how y'all feeling today?" I'm about a 3.7554 because of XYZ. And then everyone's just dropping in there. Oh, I'm a 3 today. Oh, I'm just, if anybody is saying they're like a 2 or lower, everybody's like, well, what's going on? Like, what you need? Like, do you need to call me? All of that came from, these are just behaviors that have been demonstrated and mimicked over time. And I think just to the question that you asked, that allows for other guys to feel comfortable. Then it also allows for other guys to be okay opening up to other guys because of the conversation that we just had when it comes to just guys opening up in general. Something that I live by, and I've said this before on a podcast, is I feel like if you have friends, if I call you friend, you're a true friend of mine. And to be a true friend of mine, I feel that I'm going to expose different sides of me to you so that you can know how to be the best friend for me. A lot of guys don't operate like that. And I've always argued that with, when it's time for y'all to go to the club and y'all buy the section is full. Everybody popping bottles. Everybody want to say what they're gonna put on the sign when it comes out in the club. But then time you're going through stuff, you online saying you don't have nobody to talk to. And for the life of me, that makes no damn sense. Because if we
No.
partying together, when it's getting tough, I'm calling you and you need to be able to, hey, it's an even exchange.
Yeah.
So I think now just with guys, that we were saying, there's a evolution that's turning with guys just being more open. And I think it's because of like the work that I'm doing, the work that many of the guys that are out here doing. Like, I can say shout out to Brandon from the Black Man Can page. I just had dinner with these guys in Atlanta. We had like just to come together as brothers. But Brandon from the Black Man Can, shout out to Calvin, who's the founder of Daddy Stroller Gang. They have the strollers, and we do a lot of similar stuff, just creating those spaces for dads. They just had a wellness retreat for dads last year. Kari with Library Dads in Atlanta. Meyer, he has a brand here for dads. They just did Pints and Ponytails, I want to say 2 weeks ago. Terrence, he has an organization called the Kill Pride Club. They do a live podcast where they get people to come together and just have, just this conversation and brotherhood. So I say all that, and I give all those examples to say, for us, and when I say us, I mean Black men, it's so much work that's going to have to be done.
Mm-hmm.
We can have 100 different organizations all promoting community and brotherhood, and whether it's fatherhood or whatever your niche is, that's still not gonna be enough, bro. That's just how much work needs to get done, because there's some guys that'll get invited to my stuff that's still yet to come. Like, I'll talk to some of my neighbors sometime, and I'm like, hey, like, tell your husband to pull up. He's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, but he ain't really into that. That ain't really his thing. And I don't knock it. I say, hey, we're always here. If you're trying to pull up, tell him to pull up on us. And each guy that's always operated like that, once they come to one of the events, at the end, they're like, bruh, I had no idea I needed this, bro. Like, I was able to connect with a lot of guys. My kids have made friends. They're playing.
Yeah.
They're doing great things like that. So it all comes with the work. But just to answer those questions, I think the impact that it's had on a lot of different guys, it's happening and it's still growing. It's happening and it's still growing. As I learn, whatever tools I get, I love to pass along to the next guy so that we can all just help each other out in the end.
Yeah. That's a lot. I ain't expect all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, because you do get these guys, and I always feel like you said, it's like when you have that person, it's like, nah, that ain't my thing. And it's like, you don't really know what the thing is.
But it's
until
cool.
you get there.
But you said it's not your thing, it's cool. Whenever you come around, and every time when they come like, hey bro, like,
and I'm not gonna force you to be here, because it needs to be what you want to do.
Yeah.
Not me, bro, just come on, man. Just come on, trust, because now you're going into this thing. And it's like those memes where it's like when you invite your friend to church, it's not that bad. And then the meme is like something crazy is going on in that church. And it's like, You said the church wasn't bad. That lady climbing the wall like she Spider-Woman. Like, what's going on, bro? This is not, you
Oh
know.
my goodness.
So, yeah, you have to give them, like you said, give them that space.
Yeah.
And I will say this too. When it comes to us men, especially black men, I feel we have, in a sense, too much space
Yeah.
in a closed room,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. You know, we this box is where we live, in a sense. Whatever this box is for whatever, the individual person, but we still have all this space that's a void.
Yeah.
And
So what would you categorize that space as? That you said
the
is a
voided
void?
space, just looking for something,
Yeah.
like the fellowship with other men,
Yeah.
or just time to sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
The release of not having to worry.
Yeah.
That's how I see that space, because we're always like, well, I'm not gonna say always, but I know for me, it's like, man, I gotta pay this bill, I gotta pay that bill,
Yeah.
I gotta go to work, I might have to pick up overtime. Oh shoot, we got this event going on, we got that event going on. Oh man, I should have charged that person a little bit more because I need this. And it's like,
It's like your brain's always going.
yes, everything is evolving around taking care of house and home and making sure that you can do so you can, quote unquote, get to a point where you can be comfortable. And that's that little box that I know I've personally put myself in. Now, my little box is getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting less and less worry.
Yeah.
The more people I talk to, communicate with, the more people that sit right there in that chair, that I have communications with, these conversations, because I don't like calling them interviews. This is not a job.
Yeah.
But the more and more I talk to people, the more it's like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can help with that. Oh, well, yeah, conversations with Shamar, conversations with Dina is just a lot of times this space,
Yeah.
like I said, is getting filled to a point where I can be more than comfortable.
I guess my follow-up question for that would be, so what does self-care look like for you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Serious answer.
Yeah.
Self-care for me, I don't know.
I mean, and that's some, and if you don't know, I mean, that's a great answer too. I asked that because because I know how you answered some of the questions, and how I once operated is something that is, since we're on the topic of mental health, like we have to prioritize self-care, but that wasn't something we were taught.
Mhm.
So we're really figuring it out. Like, what does self-care look like for you? And it could be anything, for some guys, it may be the 30 minutes in the car after work, or just going for a run, or, fellowshipping, creating. That could be a form of self-care. But when you think of self-care, just think of something that, like, no one's expecting anything from you in this moment. Like, this is the moment that you have for yourself, so that you can do what you want to do, to be the best version of you. Because that was something I had to learn from therapy. My therapist did help identify that I had like a survivor's complex that I was raised off of, and then she helped translate how that works in just how I operate on a day-to-day basis. And really, it wasn't healthy, because it's the constant feeling of what's next. Gotta figure this out. Gotta figure this out. Gotta figure this out. Like, and just not stopping. So something that I had to learn was to just stop, to just be, and to be present. And then also, I think, just from when you have your own family, and it's a lot of pressure on you because of those different roles, I think that's even more important, to where, as men, we need to do a better job of just telling our families, like, hey, this is what I need right now. Like, hey, dad just got off work. I need an hour. I just need to sit in my room, and or 30 minutes. I just need to sit, breathe, let me go for a walk. Do whatever, because we give so much,
Yeah.
to where we get refilled, but it's not as much as we need. And sometimes the amount that you're getting refilled, it's probably going to be gone in 24 to 48 hours. So now you're back. So now you're back operating, feeling depleted. But just tying it in, like, to the mental health conversation. Self-care is something I tell all guys, like, be sure, that you guys lock in with that. Figure out on what it is for you. Like, when I asked you and you said you didn't know, that's a great answer. That means you got so much other stuff. I can tell you that this is a form of self-care for you right here. But you have to,
Yeah.
but you would have to get to a point of having like a routine with it. And this is where that balance comes a little hard when you're trying to balance out everything with that. But something my great grandma would always tell us is if you don't control it, it's going to control you. And that's really how life is. If you don't sit and say, hey, on Wednesdays, these are going to be my days of self-care. If you don't put a hard stop on, it's kind of like work. If you don't put a hard stop for lunch, guess what? It's gonna run over you.
Yep.
And that was something. My great grandma did not believe in washing clothes on Sundays. She said on Sundays you don't wash clothes. She said all you do is you go to church, you eat, you lay down, and you rest because you need a day. And how I had been functioning for a while, it was just so much over and over, and then you start to feel it on your body. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'll go back
Mhm.
and re-answer the question. I do what I call lockaways.
Okay.
For those that don't know, because I don't think you ever heard me mention that. So a lockaway is basically like you said, I just need my time.
Yeah.
And that lockaway could be, okay, I need to get these projects done. So I'm
Yeah.
in my creative bag, right? I'm in my creative space.
Yeah.
There's no phone calls.
Yeah.
There's no answering emails. Dina can tell you, I won't respond to any messages.
That's good.
You know, the group chats that we have, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to respond until I get to a certain space.
Yeah.
I'm not answering the phone. Phone is on vibrate. The phone might even be in a completely different room.
Yeah.
So that way that ding is not, or that vibration is not a distraction. Like I might have it on my watch, but like, oh, okay, I'll check that later.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not like somebody like my wife or my grandma,
Mhm.
I'm not answering the
Not
phone.
answering it, yeah.
You know, I was about to say something, but I know Shamar gonna be like, yeah, he don't even answer the phone for me. No, I don't. You know, and some days that lockaway can be, I'm playing video games all day.
Yeah.
Don't bother me. If your name is not Chandra, who is my wife, don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Other
Yeah.
days it's I'm sitting in this house and I'm watching movies all day. I don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk and I don't want to listen. I have those days. So I guess I can put my
Yeah.
self-care in that because
Yeah.
I try to do it once a week and just be like, I don't want to talk.
And that's just what you need, just the time, like opportunity. I'm learning more about cigars now. So I have like cigars. I'll just like go in my garage, smoke one of my cigars. I'm watching Joe Budden or something on there, and I'm just like, hey, I'm in my own world right now.
Right.
I'm Zen Mar right now. Like everybody, y'all can burn the house down for all I care right now. Let me be in this
Right.
one space that is controlled, that I feel like is refilling me. But nah, I wanted to ensure that I touched on that because man, like even the numbers, and I was doing some research last night for today, but Black males are number one when it comes to suicide
Oh.
right now. And these are CDC numbers that are being produced that Black males are number one, and they're seeing more suicide right now between the ages of 10 and 24 than ever before.
Wow.
So it's, and you a lot I think takes into play when I think of that age group as well. You also think of the pressure of social media, the pressure of kind of like some of the stuff you were alluding to before. But me personally, this isn't a stat. This is just from my life experience. I feel that Black men are boxed in more than any other demographic. And I have friends in different races and stuff like that. And it's like, it's a lot of stuff that they can do that we can't do. And it's not saying that the things that they're doing are bad, but I do feel to a certain extent that our community can be a little bit more harsh when it comes to judging, which then, like you were speaking on earlier, it slaps us back in this box of you don't want to venture out and do too much. I was watching a video, it was on Twitter a couple of days ago, and it's it's a group of guys, they're out to dinner. Looks like a nice dinner, and like everybody has their phone out, like recording. And the comments were like, "You a man? What are you recording for? You shouldn't be doing so and so." Hey, bro, I don't know how you guys grew up, but I've lost a lot of people to like just death, to car accidents, gun violence, things of that nature. If you out with your friends, you want to record it because like life is just so precious and so fragile right now to where I'm very much the picture taker friend. I got pictures and videos of any and everybody because I don't have a lot of my childhood documented. So that's why I operate in that sense. But I use that as an example of just saying how like you're being policed as being a black man, saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." And a lot of guys did respond and was like, "Bro, black men go through so much. Record dinner with your friends because you don't know that may be the last dinner
Mhm.
that you guys get together." So just saying, it's just important for all of us to keep our mental health at top of mind, to have these conversations like we're having it, even from your fan base and audience that you have watching this.
Mhm.
Hopefully guys are going to see this and different. It's going to help them be like, you know what, I need to go lock in and play my video game. So I need to go get into my
Yeah.
creative lock in, and get things done like that because those numbers are real when it's coming to just us dying in general, but the deaths
Mhm.
that can be somewhat avoided, I think as a community we could do a better job with it.
I agree. And a lot of things is just asking a simple question. Um, Chef Walt asked the same question. I say, you ask a man, especially a black man, this question, one or two things is gonna happen. They're gonna stand up and they'll be able to give you an answer, or two, they're gonna break down.
Yeah.
And the question is just as simple as, so how are you feeling?
Mhm.
How are you today?
Yeah.
And it's like, nobody really asks us that. We're too busy being told what to do, what to say, how to do it, how to say it. And that goes back to most of the time childhood and
Yeah.
that whole mental health of I can't cry. I'm not allowed to show my feelings. I gotta always have my chest poked out. I have to assert myself. I have to X, Y, and Z. And
Yeah.
it's just like, but why? You know, what took place where we weren't allowed to cry? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What took place where we were no longer allowed to express ourselves?
Yeah.
But everything is on us.
Yeah.
I understand the Bible is like, the man is the head of the household, but even David cried.
Yeah.
And David was one of the greatest warriors and kings in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, David cried, but I can't. And that was a whole servant of God. I'm a servant of God and I can't say, no, okay. So I mean, I know it's rhetorical. Like,
Mhm.
when do we get into this space?
I
You know what I'm saying?
blame a lot, and there is no data to support this. Let me put that out there. There's no data to support this. Say it's in the camera. Me and my friend Miles, I'm on the Untitled podcast with him, but we contribute a lot of this to that 400 years of slavery.
Mhm.
We contribute some. We call it the Big Four. We always say like you say what you want, but the Big Four had a lot. Like we're seeing a lot of the damage that did, and I would think that at a time like that and just everything that they were experiencing, enduring and setting out to accomplish, men couldn't be weak in those moments. But I contribute a lot of that, and I don't have no data to back it up, but
I can agree.
I can just sit and say because there's so much that we learn about now that is tied to slavery that we didn't know about before.
Yeah.
So it's like I would think from an emotional intelligence standpoint as well that those things those things all somehow they loop together for each other.
That spider web. You got something to say, Dina?
Oh no, I was going to say the same thing about about slavery because I read somewhere, the babies couldn't cry. Say if a slave was escaping, so they had to cover the babies' mouths
Oh
so they wouldn't
yeah.
cry. So a lot of
So you couldn't
things,
hear them.
yeah, exactly. So I agree with you about slavery. And another thing I've learned is about the body keeps the score. So you think about our ancestors that couldn't cry or couldn't express themselves for whatever reason. It's been passed down generation to generation.
It's in our DNA. That's what
Yeah,
I hear.
Yeah.
It's
but we
embedded.
can break it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't Tasha Cobb, so I ain't breaking every
Man, I
chain.
don't know about all. Listen, come on, Tasha. I'm with you though.
Because it's exhausting.
Very,
It's exhausting,
very.
but it's like I said, it's a beautiful thing, but it's going to take just a lot of work. It's going to take a lot more men standing up in the community, leading a charge, and also leading by example. And it's just going to take a lot of work. I have a cohort right now at Morehouse that I'm working with. We have Project Inspired Leadership Academy that we're doing through their counseling department, and One of our lessons was on emotional intelligence, and
Mhm.
some of the boys, they said, I didn't grow up seeing my dad express himself. I didn't grow up seeing my dad cry. I didn't grow up seeing granddaddy cry. So I wasn't until they got, a little of age and in high school, because these very intelligent guys, but they were just basically saying, what's till they really got a little older and started doing stuff for themselves, because growing up, they didn't see it. So they were taught to, mimic what they did see. And that goes back to the conversation we had earlier. This is how the new generations are coming up, because the work that we're doing,
Mhm.
not everyone's doing that. So it's going to take so much conversation, just so much visibility for that tide to turn. I think it's turning, slow turn.
Yeah.
It's turning, but
Yeah.
it's just going to take work, a lot of conversations like this.
Yeah. And I tell that to my sons too, because you can tell
Yeah.
when something is bothering your kids.
Mhm.
To the last football season, I think it was, my son didn't get in the game first game.
Okay.
And he was walking around, and I know when he's upset.
Yeah.
Like, he's got like this blank stare all the time.
Yeah.
And his blank stare was more like a I'm pissed blank stare. So I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, nothing. I said, I don't like your tone. What's wrong? He was like, nothing, Dad, I'm good. I'm like, no, you're
Yeah.
not.
What's wrong?
So I pulled him away because I seen his face. I seen him about to break. And I said, Jacob, what's wrong? I said, ain't nobody here but me and you. What's gonna heat? And the crazy thing, and I was proud of him, but I was trying not to laugh at the same time. He say, I ain't get to hit nobody. And I'm like, you upset because you didn't get to hit? Okay, you really love playing football. You really love being on that field, and you really love hitting people. But I was just thinking to myself, like, you upset? Okay. And I'm like, so he got tears coming down his face, and I'm like seeing people come around because, hey, Mr. Harris, hey, man. I'm like, I said, wipe the sweat off your face. Still giving him, still like, I see you crying.
Yeah.
And it's okay to cry. Let it out.
Yeah.
But, understand maybe you didn't get in the game because you didn't assert yourself enough in practice. You didn't speak up. Hey, coach, stop playing, put me in the game. But I forgot where I was going with that. The way kids come up, like I allow my boys to have that space to express themselves, and we have conversations. I'm not that parent that's just like, and that's bottom line. Because I know growing up, I wasn't allowed to explain myself.
Yeah.
So I'm getting in trouble for something I didn't even do, and it's like, but Mom, it wasn't me, and it's like I don't care, and it's like, but wait a minute, now I'm taking the blame for something that one of my told you then I was gonna hit it. One of my other siblings has done, and it's like I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
But like you said, it goes back to how we were raised and being an example. Like I try not to have what do I want to call them? Heated debates.
Okay. There we go. Passionate conversations.
Passionate conversations. I try not to have those with the wife in front of the kids, because it's something that they're learning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're going to have this conversation upstairs. Hey, kids, go outside. You know what I'm saying?
The mom and dad talk right now.
Right. And, so because the thing is, I want them to understand, like, hey, there's a certain way you're supposed to talk to a woman.
Yeah.
There's a certain way you need to talk to your mom. There's a certain way you need to talk to me.
Yeah.
And letting them see the right examples. Every now and then, something happened, you get a little angry and you go a little too hard with whatever you mad about, like you just scream one good time. And you're just like, son, sometimes you just gotta scream.
Yeah,
you ain't even gotta, go outside and throw nothing. You ain't gotta break nothing in the house. Just one good time, and that could be it. Yeah, but getting them to know that they can express themselves is a big thing for me. Especially being black men, young black men, and they both got their hair locked too. So you already got 3 strikes against you.
Yeah.
You young, you black, and your hair. You come from I'm gonna say successful.
Yeah.
Because we're not struggling.
Yeah.
We're not where we want to be, but we're not like, oh snap. These lights about to get cut off. All right, kids, we're gonna play a game. Who can light the most candles? We're not in that space, but and even when I stopped driving the truck, I used to tell them, like I say, listen, I don't make what I used to make. So we
Yeah.
can't spend what we used to spend. There's not going to be a lot of eating out.
Yeah.
We're going to have to dial everything back.
Yeah.
And my kids understand that. One Christmas, I told them, I said, hey, daddy can't give y'all nothing but, $200. They were like, it's fine.
Yeah.
They wanted me to build them gaming PCs. Y'all going to have to wait. But I reached out to some people and I was able to still get that for them, and my kids are very grateful. They will tell you thank you just for cooking dinner.
Oh.
You know what I'm
Good
saying?
kids.
Yeah. You say what?
I said good kids.
Good kids, because they ain't got no other choice. I tell my kids all the time, I say, hey, tighten up. I fight kids, especially the ones with my last name. I fight kids. Their friends come over and I'm like, I fight kids. Y'all about the same. We about the same height. I fight kids. Ain't nobody gonna know no different. They be like, whoa, Mr. Harris. And another thing with discipline too, man. I mean, kids need discipline, but I don't have the time and the energy to whoop you.
Yeah.
Give me 25 push-ups straight.
Yeah.
And it don't count if I don't hear you say it. Because you can be down there. I did 25. I only seen you do 3.
I only seen you do 3.
That's it. So I'm like, things like that, especially with having to be a football dad, you know what I'm saying? And they always outside. So the whole football team, I'm like, listen, y'all work as a team. If one person does something wrong, the whole team loses. And if y'all continue doing the wrong things, the whole team loses.
Yeah.
It's not like you win because you made that touchdown. You still on the team with the rest of the players and y'all still lost.
Yeah.
So that's how I have all these kids at my house when they come over. We go through rules. What time does my kitchen close? What happens if you come in the kitchen after this time?
Yeah.
What time do y'all need to be picked up by?
You say your kitchen closed?
Kitchen is closed,
hey,
bro.
No, that's my kind of parenting. I grew up on that. Kitchen is closed.
Kitchen closes at 9.
Kitchen shut down.
And I tell them, I say, you come in here, I say, you gotta give me a push-up for every minute after 9 o'clock. And they be in there like 11:30, 12 o'clock, midnight, like, Mr. Harris, hey, I'm hungry again. I said, do you really want to take that?
Yeah, that's my kind of parenting right there.
So what they do is they go upstairs, because we're getting in trouble as a team.
Yeah.
They're going to find at least 5 more people.
There we go. I like that. And you teaching them how to stick together.
Yeah.
How to stick together, how to form their own little communities, hold each other accountable.
Right.
It's a lesson in it.
And another thing too, while we're talking about these kids and the mental health thing, I had to tell them, I say, listen, I want y'all all to understand, you don't have to be on the field or on the court to make it to the NFL or the NBA.
Yeah.
There are other positions. And it's like a light bulb went off in some of these kids' heads, especially my son. He was like, wait a minute. I can be a coach.
Yeah.
I can be a referee. I can be an assistant coach. I could do commentary.
They can most definitely get there. It's a lot of different avenues.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about exposing our kids to a lot young.
Yes.
And them not having to wait until they, let's say, get older and they're in like a college to finally get exposure. I think it's really good to plant those seeds in your kids while they're young, allow them to see different things, different careers.
Oh, yeah.
I just had a news interview a couple of weeks ago and I took both my kids. I was like, no, because I want you guys to see this, meet the news anchors, see what a news station looks like, because I didn't have those opportunities growing up.
Right.
So that I love that you're doing that and just telling them, hey, you want to get to the league or you want to get to the NBA, look at all of the different routes and don't be so locked in on, because all it can take is how many times have you heard the stories of guys that were so set on going to the league then they got an injury and then that took them out.
Or never made it at all.
Yeah, or just never made it at all. So just to let them know it's different avenues that they can take to still, if sports is still a passion of yours, you go through ESPN, be like you said, be a commentator or and I think they had an ESPN office here in Charlotte at one point.
Yeah.
So, hey, go shadow or go check out and see those things. But it all gets you to the same place in the end, no matter what route you take.
Yeah. And one thing that my oldest son Jacob said too, man, he was like, hey dad, can I use your old camera? And I'm like, why? He's like, oh, because I'm going to, go to the school and take pictures when we got events, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Then he's like, can I come to your studio? Can I, go with y'all when y'all have these events? And I'm listening to the hidden message.
Yeah.
And the hidden message I'm hearing is that I just want to spend more time with you. I want to learn what you do so I can spend more time with you. And that's something else I know a lot of people don't do.
Yeah.
They don't take the time to listen to the hidden message. You know, I know people that are like, man, I be tired when I come home. You want to go outside and throw the football.
Yeah.
You know, they want to play baseball. They want to do all this stuff. Man, I be tired. And I'm like, and that's exactly what they're going to remember when they get older.
He was tired.
That kid make it to the league. He becomes somebody. The only thing he going to remember is my dad was too tired. And is that what you want to be remembered by with them at, you know, this age gap of 9 to 15?
Yeah.
And that's why I do lockaways too. That's another reason why Shamar, a lot of things don't get done when you expect it to. You know,
Yeah.
Shamar be like, Tay, I thought you were, hey, spending time with my kids was way more important than that project, especially if it's something for us. You know, we got deadlines. I stick to them. That's another reason why I push our stuff out so soon.
Yeah.
You know, I try to get it done that day because I know tomorrow I'm not doing nothing.
What tomorrow holds, something
right.
come up.
You know, like I might get sick. You know, God forbid, because I don't really get sick. Allergies is kicking my butt, but I don't really get sick. Or, you know, I got to go here and do this. I got to go here and do that. You know, so it's just being able to hear these hidden messages that these kids are telling us, like, my baby boy will come and sit in the office knowing that I'm working, knowing that I'm editing something. He'll just sit there on his phone. I'll stop. I say, what's up, son?
I just want to be there.
Nothing, I just want to be here. It's like, oh, okay. So how was school? How you doing? How you feeling? Because he's going to remember dad took the time when he was in the midst of working. That's how I
just
visualize things, you know. And even for us as adults, hey, what's going on, man? Sometimes that's not just hey, what's up text. You know, it's like, I need somebody to talk to, you know, and that's just me. I feel like I'm rambling now.
No, you good. and especially, I mean, especially that last part, you know, you're just stating that, you know, everyone needs to have conversation, you know, with other ones, but just the importance of just spending time together. Whether it's with your kids, whether it's with, you know, friends of that and what can come of it. Because especially that last point, if it's like a conversation or something that people are, you know, texting, that could be the segue to I need to open up. A group chat rule that we have, if someone puts in a group chat, like somebody call me right now, that means, hey, somebody better call them. We don't know what's going on, you know, but you're going through stuff. And I think, you know, just having those moments like that to be able to check in is what ultimately just helps everybody's mental health in the end.
And it's needed. It's needed. So I'm gonna wrap this up because obviously you can see we can talk all day. Y'all already know take and talk for hours. So this is how we're gonna end it. Two things. One, what seed would you plant or advice would you give to other men in this mental health space? Or anybody looking to create something in that space?
I live by this saying that everyone has a social responsibility. I feel everyone has a social responsibility no matter what you're doing. I feel that we've been placed on this earth to learn. Then after you learn, it's our job and duty to pass it on to the next person. No matter what age they are. So if you're dealing with kids or to young adults. So I would say to guys that may be, you know, just navigating, you know, what does taking better care of your mental health look like? I would say just taking one day at a time. Anything that you learn that you feel is beneficial to you, it is going to be beneficial to you, and it's a long road. Like we talked about earlier, we're talking about navigating society as African American men. Also, the impact of those 400 years. Also, the box that our race has placed us in and expects us to perform to a certain ability, while all trying to figure out who you are. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So just give yourself grace. Take your time. Lean on community. Community always starts small, so don't always think, oh, it has to be a big group. If you just have one or two people to talk to, apparently in these days you can see a lot of people don't have that. One or two people to talk to, and whatever you learn from there, I hope that it continues to grow and flourish. And whatever information you do get, I would say just pass it on to the next man.
I agree. Yeah. Mental health is something. Yeah. The way the mind works is crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, man.
So tell the people where they can find you in Active Dads.
All right, you guys can find me. The website is www.theactivedad.com. Our Instagram is _activedad, and my personal Instagram is _mod. That's MODD father. I'm telling you, if you follow my personal page, do not look to come to my personal page just for dad content. You get a little bit of everything. You gonna see me daddy, and you gonna see me creating. You gonna see me outside.
I'm outside.
I feel like sometimes people follow my personal page and like, bro, you like really funny. I'm like, hey, don't come here just for the dad stuff, all right? I be having to get
Right.
I be having to get the stuff off, all right? You want daddy content? Go to Active Dad page.
Right. That's where you go. So this is the space where I open it up for you to ask me a question, make a statement, comment. Dina, you available just in case he got something for you?
Of course, Tay.
Let me, because I feel like when I do podcast interviews, I kind of throw questions back at you while we're
Yeah.
talking. So I'm like, I asked you the questions I did have.
I don't know if that was the question.
So I
That was
can't-
clever.
So yeah,
I got
just
nothing.
I just typically do that. Just throw something back at you in the middle of the question. But what I will say is, just from the conversation today, what is some stuff that you think you would want to implement more, or shed light on more to your peers when it comes to men's mental health? Or if I think to set the question up better would be if someone you know comes to you and they're struggling with their mental health, what are some tips that you would give them?
Wasn't expecting that. I'm usually the person that everybody calls
so
anyway.
you good.
You know, I'm the therapist. I'm the one that has, I think, the older kids.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of just listen, and based on them, I just direct, you know, because if you contacted me, it wouldn't be the same as, one of my other homeboys, that's not here. You know, I would sit down. We would just basically have a conversation. The biggest advice I would give, take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Tell whoever, whatever it is, hold up. Go pray about it. But when you pray, don't really be like, okay, God, da 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 da. Like, just go spend some time with God. Just, okay, God, I'm listening. And just stay. Be in his presence. Don't force anything else. Don't force God to speak. Just let God be there. You know what I'm saying? And with that and everything, just sit back, do a self-examination, and I'm gonna say self-reflection.
Okay.
Because a lot of times I hear people feel they are the cause of whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And I guess that goes back to childhood trauma. Like, well, you did this, you did that, and it's like, but I really didn't. So now it's engraved. I did, but what did you do? Step back, step away. Hey, wifey, girlfriend, fiance, you, I need a minute.
Yeah.
Like you said, go for that run. Take a walk. Just go sit in the car, call somebody, and again to go back to that's really the advice I have, because it's like everything for me is like a case by case basis.
Got you.
I don't think there's a general thing except go pray, and walk away. So
no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I ain't having anything else. Miss Dina, you off the hook this episode.
I appreciate it.
Well,
But it was
I'm
good.
gonna ask
I
this,
learned some things.
and that's what I was about to ask. So, Dina, knowing that you have two black men sitting in front of you, right? Grew up with, I'm gonna call it childhood trauma, because I know that's what it is for me, right?
Yeah.
What did you see today and hear that you feel women may need to know and be cautious of? I got real deep real quick, didn't I?
You did. You caught me off guard, but okay, I'm ready.
Is your mic on? Is it turned up?
Yeah, my mic
Oh.
is on.
Okay.
What was the last part of your statement or question? You said about
What
the
did
women.
you hear or learn today that you feel women need to be what I say cautious of?
Yeah, I was going to ask the question to Maud, but he answered it about the self-care thing. So I think as women, we need to make space for the men in our lives and also encourage. I'm a encourage therapy. Encourage people to use their copay, because a lot of us don't believe in therapy. So I think that as women, we just need to make space.
I'd also say they can look into EAP as well.
Absolutely.
Because I know I haven't checked with my current employer, but I know my last, or it could have been, because I went back to a company I was at before, but they cover like 7 sessions a year for
It's free.
therapy. And they also cover like if anyone else in your household, so like if your wife, son, or anybody else wants to do therapy, you can, if they're listed under your household. So and like Dina was saying, it's a lot of resources out here. It's a lot of resources out here, and I just think within our society, I want us to do a better job of just looking into the resources and the support that we do have, because other ethnicities, they're most definitely doing it. They're taking advantage of it, and and this technology day and age that we're in right now, you can find out anything. Just put on ChatGPT and all the other different AI assistant tools that we do have.
I agree. Well, I mean, I don't have anything else. I think we good for this episode.
Yeah.
Conversations still be ongoing, but yeah, this was good. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man.
It was awesome.
Appreciate you too, my boy.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Yes,
you for having
sir.
me on. Always good to be seen. What to say? Back home it says good to be seen and not viewed.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yes. So, Dina, you have anything?
No.
All right. Well, listen, y'all. Oh, I thought you were saying something. My
You're
bad.
hearing things, sir. No.
Oh, okay. My bad. Yeah, I'm hearing stuff. So listen, y'all. That's it for this episode. Shout out to Allen Look Studio, Charlotte Podcast Studio, and Artbox Charlotte. I would like to thank us.
I'd like to thank us as always.
Yeah. So
until next time.
Yeah. Until next time.
Peace.